What in the world? What?
Our ship disappeared. Joe!
Joe! Joe, bring back the ship! What are you doing?
It's too much.
I thought you guys were on board, and I had.
Did you see our names? This is the worst group of pirates.
Did you hear us calling any commands?
Nope.
You
I
didn't
was
see
like,
us
I
on
am
board.
going to commandeer. I decided to commandeer the boat.
Man, first we lost them, now like Joe's abandoning us. Tabitha, where did we find this crew?
Materials or something.
Joe, are you still on this ship?
Yes, I am straightening out. Oh, you're here!
Yeah, we're here.
How did you guys get here?
I found
The mermaid brought us here.
Oh.
And there's someone shooting at us.
Is it really?
I hear shots. Am I crazy?
No, I definitely heard something.
It gives me the option to rejoin the previous session.
Oh, right over there! Is that not a ship over there? Oh, it's like a congregation ship.
Oh, I am overboard.
Wait, what? Why?
Oh, the ship's on fire! The ship's on fire!
Why?
The ship is on fire because nobody sails without the entire crew. So Joe, have fun.
There's massive holes in the boat, guys.
Oh no!
You steal the ship, you
Okay.
suffer the consequences.
Push out my favorite traffic jam. Color like a fool, yeah, you know who I am. Dreams on the canvas, magic in my head. Painting out loud, I don't care where I live. Like a fool, splashing wild, breaking the rules. Like a fool, like a fool, like a fool. Every line, every you. Welcome to the 19th, the rush hour crew. Bursting blues with a laugh in my eye. Shades of wonder got me on a high. We spin stories in purple and gold. Girls got colors nobody can hold. We mix it up, we make it new. Splashy and bold, that's how we do. Running on fun, we won't slow down. Paint the town, turn it upside down. Push out my favorite traffic jam. Color like a fool, yeah, you know who I am. Dreams on the canvas, magic in my head. Painting out loud, I don't care where I live. Like a fool, splashing wild, breaking the rules. Like a fool, like a fool, like a fool. Every line, every you. Welcome to the 19th, the rush hour crew.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? Welcome into the Brush Hour. It's Monday. Monday, my favorite day of the week because we get stuff done. It's fresh, to paraphrase Anne of Green Gables, with no mistakes in it. How is everybody doing? I hope you had a great weekend. Happy Father's Day to the fathers that are out there and all that good stuff. Thank you, dreamers, for being here. I have so many different things on my mind, and it's a good thing that I have lists and paper and all this kind of good stuff, because otherwise my brain would just be like trying to remember everything that I'm trying to accomplish, need to accomplish, do, don't do, set up, order, whatever, draw, all the good things. But I thank you all for being here. We're going to get into it. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to say. But I guess my brain, I'm not even really in streamer mode. I'm like, get stuff done mode. But at the same time, I can sense the impending procrastination when you tend to get a little overwhelmed. So hopefully that will kind of, anybody know what I'm talking about? Have you guys ever experienced that, especially if you're a creative person? I don't know if it's like what it's like for normal people, but for creative people, we tend to have so many ideas, or we have so many projects that we start, that we tend to procrastinate because we don't know how to get started, or we're too overwhelmed, which does not actually fix the problem. So here we are all together doing the stuff. That being said, let me start off by just saying thank you once again for everybody showing up for Thicket of Darkbriar, our favorite little dark fairy. I thought I had his picture. There he is. Thank you everybody for showing up for Thicket of Darkbriar. He's not done yet, you know. I appreciate everybody's patience when it comes to promotion and things like that. Something that I'm learning along the way is that you have to promote the heck out of your stuff, because the likelihood of everybody seeing it is like 2%, if not less. And so you got to basically put it out there so people remember, because kind of like Christmas, a lot of people know it's happening, it's coming, but they forget or they push it off. And then they say, well, I want to do it. I want to buy it. I want to take care of it. I just need to remember to do it later. And then that's why we have to constantly push. And so I hope that you've been enjoying all the little posts about Thicket. I hope you've enjoyed the story of Thicket. I don't know how many of you out there, as far as the, patrons over on Patreon have read it, but I hope you enjoyed it. Several people have purchased it and become members, and I just want to thank you so much for that. Really excited about this story, our little Thicket of Darkbriar. We have more things coming with Thicket. It's going to be really great. Really excited about it. Yes, there is going to be an audiobook addition to the ebook. The ebook is what's available right now on Patreon. If you're a member, you get access to it, or if you just want to purchase it, maybe it's a good minute. It's a good read. I would say, let's see, the audio book is about a 20-minute read. So I would say, depending on how quickly listen, I should say, depending on how quickly you read, it's a pretty good amount of time. So if you're traveling, maybe you're at the doctor's office or putting the children to bed, something like that, it's a pretty good duration, right? Nice little short story. So I hope that you enjoyed it for those that did read it. And if you haven't gotten it yet and you're curious, you're piqued, you're interested, I don't have a good tagline. I probably should have done that, to have like a nice little tagline to read about it. Let's see. I don't know. I probably should have had that ready to go, but I didn't, because we're so enamored by all the different stories that we've been creating, and we're going to be creating a series of stories. There we go. Something is stirring in the shadows of Darkbriar. Thicket of Darkbriar is almost here. This is a past post, but a dark, whimsical short story about a stubborn little fairy lost in mischief, mystery, and things far bigger than he understands. And it's not like your happy little Disney fairy tales. So that's nice. It's something a little bit different, kind of going a little bit more old school, a little bit darker. But thank you everybody for showing up for that, and hope you're not sick of me yet. But we're going to be talking about Thicket as things go along, and it's going to be great. Wanting to do some more audiobooks for the different stories that we're creating. Looking into maybe hiring some people to do some voice work too. I've been in the talks with some people. I don't know. There's too much. Sometimes I just don't know. Am I giving too much away? But this will be available sometime in the near future. It's coming. Things are happening. It's going to be edited. It's going to have like sound effects and things like that. It's a production. It's going to be great. But until such a time, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Let's say hello to DL, throwing everything and a kitchen sink at us. Good morning. Larry and I saying it's Tabitha time. And Grape over there on the Kick side, good morning. Like a fool. iCandless as well on Kick. John the Just, good morning. Good. You sees, you hears. Okay. Single Guy Cooking, hello there. Colehauser saying, yo, Hulk smash with the morning elixir. Amen and hallelujah. But Tabitha, what if you can't read? Did you miss the point? Wait, some of you did you miss the picture? Did you miss what I just said, DL? Not listening. Not listening. These are the dreaming Tabitha people over here, not listening. If you can't read, you should learn. I mean, I'm just saying. There's no excuse for not being able to read in a first world country. Just saying, DL. Anyway, Real Steven TV, know your comments. This is the first one that I've seen, I think. Yeah, it's the first one I've seen. Duke. How are you? Go buy a beer. You know I ain't gonna, but you could buy me a beverage. I'm waiting. I'm gonna whittle you down, Duke. One of these days, when I whittle you down, you're gonna send me a gift over on Kick, and I will use it to purchase a beverage. Just won't be beer. I'm working. You know, Duke is becoming a regular, and we see you, and we appreciate you. Consistency, key. Appreciate it. I admire it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting in the wings. Gonna happen one of these days. Thank you for the follower over there on the Kick side. We're ever inkling up towards 600. We just crossed the 500 over on Kick. Thank you. Nomi will read it for the audiobook. Why? Why would Nomi read it? Why? Why would Nomi read it? Nomi will read it? Why? Why would she? Why would she? I made another one. That's weird. This is the only one this is the second one I've seen. I don't know. There was a time when I couldn't read. Well, I think there was a time we all couldn't read. I mean, every person on the face of the earth has had a moment where they didn't know how to read. Justin coming in with the foundational facts. You know, I just realized he never said you had to drink the beer. That's true. That's true. You know, there's more to the mystery that's unraveling. Elijah Trouble Green. Hello, girl. I've missed some of life updates. Clearly, I'm gathering you've written a book and for sale. Congratulations. I'm sorry. See, guys, see, this is what I'm talking about. There are people that are busy with life. They're busy with life, and so they don't know, and that's a good thing. They're busy with life. Yes, Elijah. I don't know if you remember our little story. Hang on, I don't know if you were here for when we were creating this little dark fairy guy. And we created a whole world. You guys inspired some ideas for a story. And so I kind of put on my thinking hat, and I went over and started typing furiously and created a short story about this little guy, and some little bit of magic, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then we turned it into a little ebook over on Patreon. And so, yeah. And the idea is to maybe keep on creating these little short stories. I've gotten some really great feedback from people, so I'm really grateful for that, number one. And I want to point out, like, it's not like it's flawless. And I appreciate that. People were letting me know constructive criticism. They weren't just being like, this book sucks, you don't know how to spell, whatever. There was one grammatical error or one spelling error, I think it was, or a misword. Somebody let me know. And that's how you know that, you know, a human was involved in the creation. We're bringing back humanity to book writing. But yeah, Thicket of Darkbriar. So our little fairy over here. And so we're going to have a little audio book to go along with it in the near future. Really, really fun. And all of that. So yeah, you can get it. It's available. Thank you. Yeah, I've got several. So for those that, if you're just popping in, if you don't know, and that'll be my last spiel for Thicket, and we move on to the next phase. Next story is for more than one reason, but you can get access to the book if you're a member of Patreon. So if you're already a member, you've already gotten the access. You already have access to it, along with all the other stuff like coloring pages, vlogs, and behind the scenes special polls and things like that, right? Or if you don't care to become a member, but you still want to support or whatever like that, it's $4.99 just for the little e-story there, the little ebook. And you'll have, you know, endless readings of it, you know. And yeah. And it's like for the low price of a super chat, you can have access to the little story. And it's, you know, so when I say it's a dark fairy tale, it's dark fantasy, it's not like Grimm's fairy tales where people are like, you know, cutting off their toes so they can fit inside of glass slippers and stuff like that. We've Americanized it a little bit, but we didn't go to Disney extent. So it's got maybe some discomforting elements to it while still remaining, I would say, child-friendly and whimsical. But I like stories like that. And there's a life lesson in there. And I don't want to say it's based off of Proverbs 1:5, but there's something like when you read Proverbs 1:5 and then you read Thicket's story, you're like, he should have read the good book. He should have read the good book. Anyway, so that being said, I don't over on Patreon, you don't have to be a member for that. But over on Patreon, we also have a poll. I probably should just hang on, let me see here. I would like your guys' help. So our next story, we're working on Sir Manchego Pepperjack, and I have a issue with the name. Not an issue, but I'm gonna post it here. It's free. As far as I know, you don't. I remember I posted it. You don't have to be a member to participate to this. I'm having an issue. So his name is Sir Manchego Pepperjack, and part of me is wondering, should he be Sir Manchego Pepperjack and just keep it as simple like that? Or Canalys had kind of talked about this, I think, in either post or the previous live stream. Should he be Sir Manchego du Pepperjack? Should we put a little tiny DE in between Manchego and Pepperjack? Maybe spice it up a little bit. These are based off of OC pause challenges, essentially, if you guys are new here and you don't know. And this was based off of personal information about me. They're like, all right, you're going to create a character based off of cheese. And I did put a poll. I put a link to the poll. There you go. Bossing me around, Justin. I see what you're doing. Yeah, you can go vote there. It's just easier than putting things all over the place. You go there, you vote, you come back. It's all good. But yeah, my character had to be made out of Swiss cheese with mouse ears, a tomato outfit, and he needed to have a cheese platter somewhere. So I gave it to him as a shield. And then the story kind of developed. So that being said, by the way, please don't laugh at my background skills. I'm working on it. I forget what they're called, splashes or something. Oh, see you, Real Steven TV. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks for being here. I'm working on it. Sometimes I get it right. Sometimes I don't. I'm more of a character designer than I am a background artist. So I'm working on it. You know, just splotches of color are. But anyway, so I only laughed because you told me not to. Spelling and grammatical errors used to annoy me way back when I had a reputation for pointing them out for fun. Now that I've gotten older, I found myself making the same mistake. Yeah, well, if you get out of practice too, there's a name for it, but I don't think we're allowed to say it on YouTube. Grape, you keep making that joke. I don't know if you notice. I never bring it up. It's being such a boy, being such a man. All right, so gather round, children. Gather round. So what we're doing with this character, I was working hard on it last night and just coming up with a story. So what we've got so far is that there's this wizard who has a pestilence problem in his pantry because we figured out that his name was Sir Manchego Pepperjack, pending de. And he's part of the Knights of the Pantry in the Kingdom of Charcuterie. So cute, right? So cute. And you guys also created a lot of really cool characters over in the Artist Alley. They were so cool. Also, there is on YouTube as well. If you wanted to submit a name for I wanted to ask for some help with different names. You guys suggested quite a few. Thank you. And feel free, I'll leave that open. Feel free to continue adding to that post if you want to, if there's like a name that you're like, oh, this would be cool. And if it meets the criteria, if you will, if it works for the story, I don't need too many names, but I just need to have an idea for them that I thought it'd be kind of fun because this is all about, us kind of helping figure out these worlds together. You get a shout out. You get a shout out in the next story. But there's a wizard. There's a wizard. Again, I apologize. I'm all over the place. There is a wizard that has an infestation problem in his pantry. Something evil is constantly nibbling at the corn and the flour and the fish and the eggs and the whatever. And he gets so tired of it because the pantry, everybody needs a pantry stocked full of the good stuff. And you're just tired when something is constantly eating at it. And so he decides to cast a spell on the pantry and little like something that would basically cast out the evil or protect the pantry. And thus, not realizing fully what he was doing, these little creatures, these little characters are then coming to life with an instinct to protect the pantry. And of course, I think it was last time we were talking about it, and we know what one of the problem was, but we talked about something of like an impending doom, like the knights are they keep the kingdom, you know, clean, fresh, everybody's safe, everybody's happening, but there's like almost like a prophecy, if you will, that says something from the past will come back to try to fight the kingdom or the pantry. And so then Manchego and his knights need to defend against the horde. Dun dun dun. So this was a sketch that I did this week, and trying to figure out how to draw rats. I mean, I think that's kind of a given, right? Rats are always the evil horde, you know, but there's going to be more to the story, a little bit of mystery. It's not going to be as straightforward. And we want it to be, again, kind of like Thicket, where it's fun, it's cute, but also it's a little dark, a little eerie. And so I think that'll be super fun. We'll give it a try. I don't know. Cheese, you know, it's what's for dinner, you know, cheese. Speaking of that, Mountain Mutt for good morning, by the way. $4.99 says Guten Morgen, Kego. So I got the first one. Guten Morgen. Oh, is it Q? K? K Paso. Que Paso, right? Okay, it's not Que Pasa. Are we talking about cheese? I don't know what you're saying. You're saying hello in Spanish, or are you saying something about cheese in Spanish? I don't know. I got the first part right, but you know who would know? Thank you. Oops. I should have. Thank you so much. Trying to do two things at once. What's up? Oh, see, I got it wrong. I got the first part right. How's it going? See, I thought so, but then I doubted myself. See what happens when you doubt yourself? It's terrible. Thank you, Mountain Love. I am sorry, guys. Like, I feel like I'm a little off this morning, and I apologize. And I'm so excited to draw and get started and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to see if I can somehow try to make Thicket and this rat kind of like look good together, like they merge. And I don't know if I said it properly, but once again, thank you so much, Mountain Mud. I appreciate that. What if the dreaded evil was a weevil? Maybe it's the lesser of two weevils. Anybody know that movie? Anybody? Just me? Oh. Let me get my palette here. My Canadian Bear palette that I've kind of been using for everything. What's really cool about Procreate, being able to make your own palettes. And then I have found, maybe you guys don't know this, but pro tip, that if you limit your color palette, it actually makes your life easier and not harder. It actually makes it better. You push a little bit more creativity, and you simplify your flow of art and drawing and production and stuff like that. So there you go. Pro tip. It's been very, very helpful. Where do you think I got that pun from? Just checking it. Master and Commander Jim. Good morning, Master and Commander. I got your email, sir. I will respond to you in kind. It is a great movie. I didn't know it was a book series either, which sounds like something I would want to read. All right, I think when I was making Manchego, what did I use? I used something. Hang on. Let's go here. It wasn't Inca, it wasn't oil paint, water pen. Inkwell. So I think this is the one that I was using when I made Manchego, because if we zoom in here a little bit, you can see it kind of has like this sketch looking vibe. And so I wanted to do it slightly different style than what I did Thicket in, although I did use this for the final picture with him when he faced his foe. DL says, over the weekend, I listened to Whitney Houston rendition of National Anthem. I'll talk about the goosebumps. I hear that. It's early. My German and Spanish blended on as it's prone to doing. As it's prone to doing. All right. So how did everybody's weekend go? Let me tell you. We all know that social media can be. I did this sketch, by the way. I did this sketch, and I'm just going to see what does it look like if it's a little bit more fleshed out. You know, I think this is a pretty good little rat. You know, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see. But you know, social media we know can be. I think I want to give him a little bit of square face, a dark place if you let it, right? But and it's hard not to. It's everywhere. The drama is king and everything like that. But you know, then you go outside, you sniff the grass, you feel the sun on your flesh, and suddenly you remember, and you talk to your neighbors or you just whatever, and you remember life just isn't quite as bad as you remember it being, right? And I have a little bit of faith for humanity. I know this guy's face is a little disheveled, but I kind of like that. I'm testing some stuff out. So bear with me here. I kind of liked the way that this slanted out that way. I don't know if it'll translate the same over here since his head's kind of turned. We'll practice. We're seeing. And anyway, the other day though, and when I say the other day, I mean Saturday, I went for a bike ride and I was out about in my neighborhood. Actually, I was in the adjoint neighborhood, you know, because they're just building up everywhere. And I went by this house. It's like a brand new, I always tell you, like, there's like construction going everywhere. And there's like this new development not far, like right where I'm at. And I was riding my bike around and through this new development. There's a couple of people that live there, you can tell, but there was this one house. I mean, they're brand spanking new, right? And I mean, it didn't look like anybody lived there, but there was a house in the driveway, and the the emergency lights were on. And it didn't seem like the car was running, but it was on. So I passed by it. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks or whatever. But I'm like, I thought maybe a realtor was in the house, and I don't know why they just had their blinkers on, whatever. No, it's the case. But then I was like, no, I think somebody lives there because there was a sign in the front that said something about middle schooler, like their kid, you know? And I'm like, yeah, if the house isn't purchased, there's no reason for that sign to be here. And I'm like, you know, I should just leave them alone. So just leave them alone. I hear people say that, just leave people alone. And to some degree, I do. I think you need to respect that. But I was like, but it's bad. Like when your lights are on, right? And what if they don't know? And all these kinds of different things. And I went back and forth a couple of times, and I don't know, I felt like God kind of put it on my heart, was like, be kind, like do it. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Now, when I was younger, I would have ridden my bike back and forth about 1,600 times. Oops, what happened? Okay. Debating with myself if I could. I did struggle with a lot of social anxiety growing up. And so interacting with strangers, not exactly my thing. Not that I was unkind to people, but like intentionally going up to somebody, feeling like I was bothering them. The urge, not the urge, the feeling like you're going to embarrass yourself or something. But I was like, just do it. Just be. So I'm old enough to be like, I feel like God wants me to do this. And the more that you try to fight it, the more you realize, yeah, it's probably God wanting me to do something. Darn it. So I did. I stopped my bike in front of the house. I'm all sweaty because it's hot outside, and I'm riding my bike, and I knock on the door. The most adorable, like golden retriever, I think it was a golden retriever puppy, comes so excitedly to the front door because it was a glass door and everything. and which was so great. And then the person who I guess owned the house, this man comes and he picks up his dog and he's like, hi. And I like really quickly, I'm like, look, I was just riding by and I saw that your warning lights are on and I didn't know if you knew. And he was so surprised. He's like, no, I had no clue. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. And I just left. Of course I had to say hi to the dog, but I was like, there you go. So, you know, that was such a good feeling. Like, thank you, Jesus, for letting me, you know, because what is it that with that song we talk about, like with Michael Jackson, that says, you know, you want to make a difference, you want to make a change in the world. Everybody says that you've got to be the change, right? So being friendly, being neighborly. We talk about like, oh, people aren't neighborly, they're not friendly anymore. Well, are you being neighborly? Are you being friendly? There's a verse in the Bible that says that he that have friends must show himself friendly. You know, it's also like treat people the way you want to be treated. I mean, if some nice person came to your house and just said, hey, I just want to let you know, like something's wrong with your car. Right. You know, you would be appreciative to that. And so there was that. And I'm like, look at me being the difference maker, maybe just in a small way. But not only that, not to talk about myself, but like it was a good feeling to do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything. It's a good feeling like I had done what God wanted me to do. That's an even better feeling. Obedience, you know, happiness comes from obedience. And then yesterday, I was out on the road and coming home. And I see this guy, I've heard like on the side of the road walking. There's obviously it's Florida. There's a bunch of water everywhere. But he's on the sidewalk and he's holding something real awkward, real big and awkward in his hands. And he's like walking. He's stout, middle-aged guy walking, button-up shirt and his jeans, walking. I'm like, what is he doing? And I notice it's a giant turtle, like a big turtle. Pretty big turtle. They took up most of the guy's like, well, not most, like this was like the size of the guy's chest. It was a pretty decent sized turtle. And he all of a sudden I was like, oh, he's rescuing a turtle. But not only that, but like you see, it was like a 3-lane road and there was a turn and he had pulled over into the turn because I guess that's where he was going. And he walked wherever he needed to pick up that turtle and then was rescuing that turtle. Carrying it across the water or carrying it across the way to go put it in the water. And I was just like, look at that. See, there are still more good people than bad in this world. It just depends on who you highlight. And rescuing that turtle took time out of his day to rescue that turtle. And that just made me so happy. I'm like, look at us, look him, me, the rest of us. If you've done anything this weekend like that, please feel free to share with the class. But like, it kind of gives you that hope for humanity. Or I was like, look at that. Devil ain't got them all, you know? Anyway, we're just happy Monday, everybody. Started book 1. It's very technical, but if you want to explore some of the most historically accurate books I'd ever say, oh, the Master and Commander. Okay. Weekend was good. Weather was great. Instead of sending one of my techs out to a service call, I went just to enjoy the nice weather in the city. That's nice. It's nice. Weather's been hot here, but it was nice the other evening. I've been watching almost nothing political and enjoying everyone having fun for the World Cup and midnight. Yes, I've noticed a huge change in my own personal attitude and demeanor since I've basically just not. I really just, even with YouTube, as much as I love YouTube, but I've been mainly watching the World Cup and then just seeing the torrent of people posting about how they're enjoying America that it's like, I don't have time to look at the rest of the negativity. So it's been nice. I don't sniff the grass because you never know what's there. The neighborhood dogs went to the bathroom. Oh, it's a chance we all have to take. Let me see. 40 Viking, hello. Howdy, Tabitha. Hello, chat. Just here to drop a drive-by. Like, thank you. A few weeks ago, my neighbor praised me for being a good neighbor. That's, see? Yeah, golden retriever. Yep. All I do is mind my own business and stay out of trouble. True. Like, there's a balance there, right? Like there's nothing. Yeah, you want to mind your business, stay out of other people's problems and whatever, but there's nothing wrong with being neighborly. And what is it? Happiness comes from giving happiness to others. So let's see what we got here with our little rat. Let's remove the background. His face is janky. I know it is. It's like longer on one side. So let's see really quickly before we get too far into anything. I forgot how to liquefy. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what you can do. Because one side. Okay, here we go. Ooh, all right. But I feel like it looked better being more pointy like that. That kind of helped, didn't it? And we push this one up in a little bit more. But it did kind of look better pointy, didn't it? Is it just me? I took the PS5 and shoes in my apartment. What? He thought they were stolen. So when I returned them, he was very grateful. Oh, wait. One night when I came home from work, I found a PS5 and a $500 Jordans in the bushes in the front of my apartment building. Turns out my neighbor got into an argument with his girlfriend. I took the PS5 and shoes in my apartment. He thought they were stolen. So when I returned them, he was very grateful. There you go. See, you're a decent person, Justin, from time to time. Although I will say it's a very strange place to put valuables. Even if you are in the midst of an argument, but that's none of my business. So I'll just be here. Just be here. All right. So we got our rat. Let's have a look. Okay. So what I think then, because I think his face might be too skinny. Is that a little bit better? And it's meant to be kind of like, sketchy. I do think that his face maybe that it needs to come out a little more. I don't know. We could just, so something that I do when I like the way something looks, but it is a little, what is it called? Asymmetrical. That means it's not the same on both sides, right? Because symmetrical is symmetrical, asymmetrical. It's slightly unbalanced, right? That's what that means. Maybe. Cole Hauser, you just stop. Of course, this is not Rat Trap. You guys want to know what Rat Trap really looks like? The goat, the legend that is Rat Trap? Here he is. Right here. That's Rat Trap. Looks nothing because this is just a trans metal version. This other guy is the rat. He's part of the horde that Sir Manchego has to defeat. I swear. Anytime this man has a moment to antagonize me about Beast Wars, I seize it. All right, see, but now this has messed up. I should have drawn the whole thing and then did my alterations, but it's fine. It's how it is. Biggles, what's up? I don't know. I just thought maybe like a loose sketch would be kind of cool for this rat, but we'll see how it looks. Obviously, coloring makes a huge difference, but I hope you're doing well, Biggles. Oops. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Beast Wars is superior in every way. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Biggles. Legendary. Thank you. Give you that round of applause you so richly deserve. I don't know that I've ever heard Cole Hauser tell me exactly why Beast Wars sucks. Was it just too childish, too whimsical, too friendly? Well, it wasn't friendly. It was a war. Too interesting. You never given me like, cold hard facts or, the opinion of the why. Like, I want to know. Curious minds want to know. I feel like that foot is way too long. No, it's actually the side because it's slightly back. So what's happening here is also he's got a little bit of stuff on his face because, he was chomping at the apple. So who wouldn't have a bit of juice on the face, on the face. So then let's see. See, look at that. Love Beast Wars growing up. But season 1 on DVD. Thank you, Thistle and Thorn. Thank you. Me antagonized? Never. Let's see. that took G1 content and used it in Beast Wars. If they didn't use it, then it would be okay. So the problem that you have is that it's like a rehashing of G1. I'm not familiar with G1. So are you saying that it got the Star Wars sequel trilogy effect? Is that the case? Oh. So you're upset because the next generation got a retranslation, an updated, modified retranslation of the original content, is from what I'm understanding. Okay. So had it been more of an original story, you would have been okay with it. Okay. All right. Okay. I can handle that. It still doesn't mean that Beast Wars was bad. It's just right? Doesn't that then mean that Beast Wars is good? Because I know you love G1. It's just that this is G1 with animals. And what does G1 stand for? Grade 1? Good one? I'm not sure. I don't know. I got to do my research. Generation 1. I was so close. Thank you, Larry, because I had no kind of ED. All right. Generation 1. Everybody's letting me know. Generation 1. All right, let's remove our sketch here. We need the whiskers. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I did this intentionally. And this is kind of fun because it's out of my wheelhouse. This is not a chibi. I'm not really good with the chibis for the animals, so here we are. But I've done his hair. We all know that it's all spiky and disheveled because he's a rat. But I did his hair on purpose like this. Not too on the nose, but try to make it look kind of like horns. I don't know if anybody caught on to that, but fun fact for you. All right. Let's do the whiskers. Let's see if we can try to recapture what has been. Oops. I mean, they have like really long whiskers, man. I was doing some research for it, and I'm like, some of these animals out here, like seals and the whatnots, the amount, oops, that's on his nose. The amount of whiskers that these creatures have is ridiculous. The length, I don't like that one. I think it's, you know, and sometimes I know it kind of hurts people's feelings, and it does mine too. Sometimes I don't make the whiskers or things like that properly, as far as, like, do you know that it bothers me that this particular one right here is jutting out the way that it is? However, when it comes to things like whiskers and whatnot, having them not be perfect, in my opinion, number one, it kind of gives you a certain kind of discipline. It definitely is a war against your OCD. And it also makes things more realistic. So even if you're doing a cartoon, that's just my preferred method, where it's like, let it be natural. If it's not perfect, it probably means it's more realistic. And it drives me crazy. And then, but it's a good lesson for me personally, because, you know, Maria, good morning. Mama Maria. Icanal says rats make very good target practice for an A22. Well, womp rats too, from what I've heard. Beast Wars is awesome, says Hulk Smash. I still have my action figures. I no longer have my rat trap. You know, maybe if I had, I don't know. You know, my Funko Pop collection is complete, but I think like if I had a rat trap, then it would be more complete. I don't like a lot of Funko Pops. I'm very particular about my Funko Pops. I think I have like 6, and that's all, you know. But it'd be, I don't know, I'd be okay with a rat trap one, you know. I do. A bunch have been getting into my chicken coop and stealing their food and water. I try to deter them from going in with sense, but they keep coming. So what must be done must be done. Oh, it sounds like Icanalus could use a spell that would cause magical creatures to defend his chickens. What? Who could we call to fix that problem? Icanalus, you might be the inspiration for this story unknowingly. That's awesome. What is this? What is this? Illutrium? Illatorium. Excuse me. Hello there again. Do you enjoy what? Do you enjoy at art fight? I don't know what that is, but it sounds intense. I would watch. The chickens would eat Manchego. No, of course they wouldn't, because they're knights and they have weapons, and it would just be, harder for them. That's all. That's all. It wouldn't be a challenge, right? If all right. Here we go. We got oops. And then we got our little splooches of the apple, things that they are. Okay, we'll get rid of our background. And I'm sorry that that's happening. I'm trying to clean something off of my screen. Okay. Chicken farm, look into, oh, you guys are talking about, yeah, take care of that problem there. Yeah. I've come across a guy who's befriending crows to keep the hawks away. Oh my, fascinating. Let's see here. Okay. Let me add, I think I need to add a little bit more of a rough over here just to kind of, let's get rid of this. Oops. Okay, he's pretty cool looking. And then the rat's tails, they have like these weird lines. It's just kind of a little bit stereotypical with the rats. Hang on. All right. So here's a question I put to the group when it comes to our character. Good morning, Mo. Hello there. Mo, have you ever drawn a rat before? What do you think? Does he look evil? Does he look cartoony? Does he look sinister? Let me know. Mo, do you have experience with like backgrounds? I know you were asking about like your avatar and stuff like that previously, but like when it comes to drawing backgrounds and stuff, what are they called? Like splash somethings? Like with this character here, I think it looks stupid. It doesn't make sense. He looks like he's in front of a stamp or something like that. I'm not good with those. And I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to recall my graphic design days from college when it comes to these things, but I can't quite tap in there. If you got any tips, let me know. Mo Zamboni. He looks evil and disheveled. Then that's the point. That's what we're going for. So let's see what kind of colors, keeping our palette. Mo's the one actually was saying this a while ago that, no, it's not just the background. So there's a specific name for basically small backgrounds that are not backgrounds, right? They're in the background. They're behind the character, but I forget what they're called. They're not just called backgrounds because backgrounds are like a completed, it's a little bit more of a something. There's something, it's specifically called, like I said, like a splash background or a something. I forget what it's called, a something card. And I can't remember what it was called, where it's not a completed background. It's just something to to amplify the character and set them apart from just a blank canvas in the back. I don't remember. Rats often have battle scars, like gnawed out tails or ears. Well, you see that I've got like little, chunks missing. This is my first rat. So because we're probably going to be drawing quite a few because there's going to be, so here's the thing, guys. The question I was going to ask about, see, what color are rats? They're usually just brown, right? What color are rats? Traditional browns and blacks to blues, grays, and whites. Oh my. Oh, there's all kinds of colors. Oh, dead rats. Oh my. I wonder. I was thinking brown, but they would kind of be in the shadows. So there is supposed to be this impending doom. Remember in the story where I was saying, like, the knights, they've been taking care of the pantry and everything's going well, but then they will suddenly stumble upon things in the darkness that they don't understand, things that weren't there before, that they've never really seen before, and that they don't really have a memory of what it was like before they were created. Because when they were created, it was like they had always been there. They'd always been in the pantry protecting it. So the king of the kingdom will have like this vague memory that's not really a memory, but a feeling that there was a great evil in the pantry at one point in the kingdom, and that the feeling / memory would be that one day it could return, and they have to be ready for it. And Manchego is a little bit full of himself. Very confident knight, where it's like, well, we can take it on, we can handle it. And so, spoiler, but like the rats will come. So what my question is, something that's tattoos of memory. Oh my gosh, is that Jonas J. Campbell? I didn't say tattoos of memory. I didn't say tattoos. Isn't there a song like "You're on my heart just like a tattoo," which sounds incredibly painful and deathly and costly? You mean a backdrop? Is that what it's called? Right? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's not a background. It's just something, usually a color or a shape or something behind a character, right? So is that what it's called? A backdrop? Yeah, I'm not good at those. I'm not really good at backgrounds either, but I'm better at backgrounds than a, I guess, backdrop. What is this? When in tomorrow I am so going drawing stream. Oh, okay. Cosplay. I don't know what all that is, but I wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. Heck yeah. It's called a backdrop. Okay. Well, see, you were wrong, Maria. Okay. Just want everybody to point that out. I want to point that out. Look. Facts. Look, she said it was called the background. What is it really? The backdrop. She's like, yep, the backdrop. I see what you did there. Anyway, my question to you, they did that for the character art and fighting games a lot. Yeah, okay. Well, I just pulled up the receipts. Don't backtrack. Don't what me. So I had mentioned in a previous stream, let me know what your guys' thoughts. Is it more scary, the idea? Oh, you were talking about the dark buyer background. Yeah, so I did that. I think with Thickets, I did a really good job with this one. It's very simple. It's not really a background, right? It's just like that little card or something like that. But it's just a little sploosh of color. It amplifies it. It helps the character rather than, a full background. So I was struggling with Manchegos. But okay, so what was I saying? Is it creepier? I wonder if we should go. I don't really have. Let's go for my Backrooms palette over here. Or no, maybe I should go with this one and then we'll go dark. Let's try it. Let's see. He might fit in the shadows better. Although I kind of envision that the art for this story would be on the warmer colored side, but let's just see what happens. Read my previous message. What? The rat backdrop? What? Well, this one was more of a background. See, we got wall, flooring, all that stuff. At least that's how it is in my mind. Oh, by the way, this was our first rat, which is really terrifying. Our what was it? A chi ratwa? Was that what we called it? Yeah. But let's go for it. So anyway, is it scarier to have like a rat king in, or a rat general in charge of a rat army? Or, which I was thinking, is it scarier to have basically a rat horde that just kind of works like a mind virus? Kind of like, wasn't there a movie about zombies? I'm not a zombie person, but there was a movie. Was it Brad Pitt? I don't remember. there was a zombie movie where the zombies just moved as a horde. There was no leader. They just worked together and did what they did. And they would even build walls, right? Like as far as of themselves, like they would literally pile on top of each other in order, like ants, to scale something. Even though I know ants have a leader, but I think it's kind of scarier, in my opinion, to have a bunch of rats doing the same thing for the same cause, not really having names, all that kind of stuff. Although somebody had mentioned maybe rat scallion, which was really cute because it kind of went with the, the food pantry vibes. But it's like, I kind of wondered, oh, and I need to switch my brush, if that would be a scarier approach, a creepier approach with this story, rather than having another leader, another kind of main character. What if it was just Manchego again? Ooh, what if it was just Manchego against the horde? What is happening? I'm missing a connection piece somewhere. Aha. Yeah, Manchego versus the hive, if you will, versus Manchego versus the king or the general who's in charge of the army. I don't know. I find that, I think, to be a little creepier, right? World War Z. Yeah, there you go. You guys are helping me build this world and this story. Would you find that to be, sorry, I just noticed like there's a giant thing of lipstick on my arm for some reason. I don't want that to get on my cheese, my valuable cheese shirt. It's hard to get out. Tabitha, I wanted to try my hand at creating Darkbriar. There, I copied and pasted again for you. You're welcome. Okay. It's supposed to be YOU''RE, but whatever. No, I didn't see that, Maria. Where is it? There it is. I wanted to try my hand at creating Darkbriar. What do you mean by that? Could you elaborate? You want to create Darkbriar like a picture? Let me know. But I don't know. I just kind of thought, as I'm trying to develop the story and everything like that, I'm like, instead of creating a whole other character, what if it was almost like the rats were just one kind of like one being that essentially divides itself into hundreds of other beings. And I'm not meaning that literally, because this is going to be it's a fantasy story, so it's slightly based in reality. Of course, that's how I prefer my fantasy stories. I'm more of a high fantasy kind of gal. A faceless, endless horde could be terrifying and exhausting for your hero. Well, that would be good. That's a good point. That would be good. It would mean that, Manchego and his knights really have to work for it, because even though he's fully confident in what he can do, that doesn't mean he can do everything. So he really has to prove that he can do, right? And so, a nameless, faceless. So I don't want to do too many spoilers. It's kind of hard how to do it, but you know what? You guys are the ones that have been helping me along with this journey. So I was thinking, let me know your thoughts on this too. I was thinking of like the mystery of okay. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I apologize. So the rats were the original kind of enemy, right? And the enemy that the kingdom doesn't remember, but feels from the past, if you will. Because remember, they don't really realize that they were created at some point in time. They just know that they've always existed. But there was that problem prior to them being created, which was why they were created. So I thought we would make them the rats. And I was thinking of making their memory to make a label for it would be the old hunger, because it kind of fits in two different ideas, where it's not just the hunger for the food, but it's almost like greed as well. So it's kind of like a little bit of a play on words to that extent. and it's a little bit, I think, a little bit more serious and a little darker. But I do, of course, because it's by the people for the. I'd love to have your idea. If you think, does that sound? It's one of those things where I don't want it to necessarily be terrifying, but does it sound uncomfortable? If it sounds uncomfortable, then that's where we really need to find our ground there. Faceless hordes are terrifying to me if they're trying to turn you into the faceless, terrifying horde. Yes, indeed. So this wouldn't be that the rats are trying to turn you into a faceless horde. They're just trying to conquer the pantry and eliminate, and because of the old hunger, the greed. And so I think I was going to name their little horde that the knights of the pantry and the little kingdom, they don't have a name for the rats, right? They just remember the old hunger. And I just find that to be a lot more prophesical. It's not a word, but we do that here. We make up our own language. So this would be like he'll be in the shadows. This will be a much darker picture. He'll be in the shadows, and he would just be a part of the old hunger. Like maybe when they see him for the first time, they're startled by him, and it causes this weird tinge in their memory to be like, this was that great evil that once fell upon the kingdom, the old hunger. I don't know. That was something that I was playing around with. Let me know your thoughts. Creating Darkbriar Forest, the background where your story takes place. Just a fun project, as if I didn't have enough to do. Feel free, Maria. I'd love to see it. Create some Darkbriar. I'd love to see your interpretation of Darkbriar. A leader could possibly be reasoned with. A seemingly mindless horde can't. If a leader is taken out, you've heavily weakened the enemy. If you take out one of the horde, you've done next to nothing. I know, right? And I feel like that is what creates that strong tension. It's a very good reasoning right here. That's exactly right. You take out the leader and then the problem is solved. But what do you do when there's no leader, but you just have an army with one mindset? You know? The old hunger. Ooh. I bet I need to get Jonas to read these stories. There we go. I bet that'd be good. Jonas! I might call you. I mentioned something about an evil owl in charge of the rat clan. You did. You did. But, here's my reasoning. Why would an owl be in the pantry? These are the things that I'm thinking of. Like, why? We know why the rats would be in the pantry. But an owl, why would an owl be in charge of the rats? And not that this is a bad idea. I think this is a great idea for a different genre of fantasy. I like it though. The hungry, the voracious. There's something about the relatable words that are simple that means so much, right? I do love me a good, strong word. But I feel like something like this is more relatable, and we all know what it feels like to be hungry. Does everybody know what it feels like to be voracious? The old hunger sounds like an ancient curse that drives them mad. So all they can think of is to consume all they see. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, it makes sense. Like, it's a twofold kind of thing. It's greedy. It's evil. It's just like taking something that we can all relate to, and that happens all too often, and twisting it just a little bit, But I'm distracting from this new story, so I'll ask another time. Ask away, Maria. It's totally fine. True, an owl would also devour their. Although I could see, I don't think it's a terrible idea. I think that would actually be great for like a whole other story. Because owls live in the wilderness, right? So I think it would be hard for them to have for the owl to be in charge of the rats for the purpose and, pillaging the pantry. It'd be different. I think it would be different if our main characters were not made out of little pieces of food, but were actual mice. That would make more sense, I think. A mink pretending to be a rat would be funny. I don't know why it cut that. Oh, over here. Hunter, how are ya? A mink pretending to be a rat. That would be the little vermin that they are. But here we go. Oh, I missed it. I missed a spot. So do we all agree that calling them the old hunger feels like a vibe? Like it kind of, because hunger is a negative side effect anyway, right? It's not a pleasant thing. So attaching it to like an idea or a group of people, I feel like that really puts some weight, like some discomfort to it. Let me know. Am I right? Am I on the right track? Do we agree this is the direction that the story should go? And good morning. I hope you're doing well. I want to do, I think maybe a green apple, but let's try these colors here, like these uncomfortable colors, because that's like the whole point, right? The old hunger stirs. Maybe when they're going through, maybe when the knights are kind of doing a routine check on the pantry and they suddenly are finding some paw prints in the flour. The flour's been disturbed. And then they see these eyes glowing in the darkness. And what are those? What is that? Because the normal foes, maybe they're moths, maybe they're little beetle bugs, the occasional lizard or something like that. They've never seen something quite like this. But in the back of their mind, it's telling them something different, that this seems familiar, oddly familiar, uncomfortably familiar. And then maybe the rat hisses or something like that and runs away, and they report back to the king what they saw. And the aged king, no doubt made out of another kind of cheese, the aged king suddenly is overwhelmed with this feeling of a memory that he can't quite put a finger on. And he's like, this has happened before. This is the great evil that once conquered the kingdom. Something along these lines. I have to be careful how we word it. Got to be a little loose and figurative here too, because if they don't remember it, but at the same time they do, there's that weird feeling. You know, it's like a sense of deja vu. Like I can't explain what it is I'm feeling, but I've felt it before. I feel like I've done this before. And it's like, this is the great evil. I remember it now. The great hunger that stalks the shadows. I don't know. It's the ancient adversary. Sorry about that. It sounds like a fitting title for your story. Simple, like folklore, but vague and ominous. Yeah, there we go. The old hunger. Sir Manchego and the old hunger. I don't know. Maybe that won't work. The old hunger. It might be like a subtitle or a chapter title, depending on how many pages this story has. Again, it's just meant to be a short story, so things kind of have to go quickly. We can't go too deep with the lore, which worked out really well for these short stories. Aged cheese. That's right. I mean, oh, where's it at? You saw our main character, right? Jonas, you've seen, where is he? Yeah, I've gone back and forth enough. Uh-oh, I've lost our main character. Oopsie doodle. He's around here somewhere, but I don't know where he is. Oh, no, that's not him either. Nope. I don't know where he went. He's somewhere around here. I guess I could just do the easy thing, but you've seen it. You've seen it. This is our main character. Like, you know what? Let's get rid of that embarrassing background there. That's our main character, Jonas. That's our main character. Here's one of the members of the horde, the old hunger. Let's see. And then the inside needs to be kind of a yellow color, but it's going to get discolored more. These are just our base colors. In my mind, I'm kind of having like I think it's Rembrandt styled color palette is what I think would work really well for this story. but we'll see. You know, I might just stick to the old ways of what I do and let that be. But I think that would work well. I wonder, would this work well for him? Oh, yeah, yeah. So the other thing is too, like, yeah, keeping a limited color palette makes things match. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So the Gouda the Gouda Nights. All this has happened before and it will happen again, but this time it happened in Darkbriar. I don't know. Are the stories linked? We don't know. We don't know. Or do we know? If you know, you know. Yeah, like we've got like this kind of sickly color palette. I like that. Colors make such a huge difference when it comes to storytelling, character design, all that stuff. It's like when I don't know if anybody saw my short where I accidentally turned my caterpillar that I was drawing into Scooby-Doo because of the colors that I chose. And I looked at it and I'm like, this is Scooby-Doo. It's pronounced Gouda in Netherlands. So in America, we say Gouda. I grew up calling it Gouda. That's what I was told. If you know, you know. But do you know? Do you know the way? That's right. So I think the cheese, it just depends on where you're from. So then your guy is fighting the Gouda fight. He is. He's fighting the good fight. Let's see. So this maybe would be, no, that's a little darker. What about, see, I'm mixing palettes, so that's not good. So this is the color. It would need to be a little brighter because it's on his face, just to differentiate, right? We'll try it. We play around with the... It never gets old. Now, okay, so where is that from, though? Like, I'm familiar with it, but I don't actually know where that's from. Do you know the way? Do you know the way? And what color are rats' noses? They're pink, right? Yeah, pink, 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 pink across the board. Looking that we're pink. Okay, but it's got the juice on it, so maybe it's this color. Ugandan Knuckles is what it. I know. What is Uganda? Is that a song? What is that? Is that your culture? I don't like it. Okay, well, okay. Europe is not fake. Hey, careful. I got my strong family ties over there. You can't. I'm the only one that's allowed to call out my family. Okay. I don't know. I grew up. All my German family say Gouda or Gouda. Now, see, now you got me confused. Gouda. We grew up calling it Gouda. Now I'm confused. Wait a minute. I don't like cheese, so it's been a while. Yeah, let me go back in the memory files here. What do Americans mainly say? They say Gouda, don't they? And that's why they think it's funny when we say Gouda. Which, to be fair, Gouda sounds way more Dutch. So that would make sense. Gonna have to do the research on this. I'm gonna have to know for the science. It's a meme of Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, yeah. See, I don't know that. I don't know the origins of the way. What if we made a skin-colored nose? And then, of course, you know, adding the darkness and everything like that too, it will make a difference. And this would be a good color for the ears and the tail. So look at that. We've killed 3 birds with 1 color. I don't know. Words is hard, man. Well, it's just like in America, you know, water has several different variety of pronunciation. Water. I don't know. There's so many. Water. How do you know there's gators in them there water? You put your hand down in the water. You tap it a couple of times. You rub it. And when your hand is wet, that's how you know there's gators in them water. One of my favorites. A lot of Americans pronounce it with a goo sound. Gouda. I don't know. Guess it depends. I don't know. Pretty sure we grew up calling it Gouda. So if the Americans are saying Gouda, then it's probably wrong because that's what we do. We take words and we make them our own because we're fancy schmancy conquerors. That's what we are. We're no nonsense. If we're going to take something, we're going to take it. Oh, I already colored his hands and everything like that. So yeah, let's do that. That makes more sense. So, I mean, I know this looks really basic right now. Like we kind of look like we're doing a fifth grader's drawing of a rat. However, of course, if I got rid of that, it looks like a little mini bison. But if we do this and I get, let's see, what was the brush that I used for, nope. Is it the ink quill? No. Inking, painting. Oh, shoot. What was the brush that I used? Drawing. Soft pastel. I don't remember what I used to color Manchego with. Was it this one? And then let's get this color. If I broke the rule of the palette is what I did. You know, I don't know that I like this color anymore. I'm gonna go. Yeah. And then with that, we would stick with the let's just practice here for a second. Oops. This isn't final, but it's just, I want to practice something here. Just kind of get some shadows that are unclean. And then we do this one. Did I not do alpha lock on this? Oh, shoot. I did it on the wrong layer. That's okay. We'll just practice and then we'll do it again. And that's a lot more sinister, is it not? It's not perfect, but it's just practice. See ya, Maria. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I think that looks a lot. And then I had the nasty green. So then if we kind of did some highlights, again, this is just a little practice thing. It's not meant to be serious. It's just kind of like, just to give me an idea of what it is I'm aiming for. So, and then this color here, that's really, really dark. Let's lower. A little bit of a painterly vibe, which I've been really enjoying. Excuse me. That, you know, and then if we, let's see, we turn the background a little bit more like this. And then put that down here. Now we're getting closer to what I imagined, but not quite because it's still a little too cartoony. Let's go back to our rat. I have to undo a lot of stuff here, but that's okay. We're finding our vibe. And let's get the white, because you know the rats have those like that glowing eye, like it's so creepy. Ooh, that is nasty. I don't like that. It's too bright. I think that takes away, it needs to be darker. It takes away from his, there you go. Just kind of color that in. And then I think I was going to, was I just going to make the whole thing that color? I don't know, kind of like a blind looking color. What if it, I don't know, something creepy in the darkness lurking. It's pretty good. A thin bit of red. I just know, it's how it's creepy. You guys ever seen you ever seen Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. and with what's his name? Something Strong. But he was the bad guy. And when the lighting effect, when he was in the prison, they made it so that there was this one light that was just shining in his eyes, like almost no other. Mark Strong, thank you. No other light. And that was such a creepy effect. So I think that's what I would go for. When they're more in the daylight, I think adding some of the red in the eye could be ideal. But I think maybe for, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty cool too. Have to play around with it, but this is kind of the style I want to go in. It's not perfect because you can see I went outside the bounds and everything, but it's not this is looking more of like paper texture, which is super cool. But I wanted it to be more like sketched because that's what Manchego looks like too, which we could always redo him too. But I think we're onto something. So you guys like the whole kind of like hive mind rat colony kind of situation, and all of that. Appreciate it for the input, because you can have a great idea, but is it what everybody else is thinking? Is everybody else feeling the same feelings? And that's how you're on the right track, because if we all have a universal feeling, for the most part, when it comes to stuff like this, it's like, oh, so then it's relatable. People can feel the same. Most of the time, people will then feel the same sensation across the board when you're like reading the story and everything like that. So this is a really nice concept art piece, but it's not, we're still playing around with the colors. I still wonder if he's a little too cool toned. Maybe if I need to warm it, maybe I should go with the browns. Again, I need to, I've messed things up significantly. What if we went with this color? I like it. I like it a lot. Because I do want them to kind of, that's actually pretty good. What palette is this? Oh, it's that one. Okay, good. From the one I pretty much use. So I think it kind of helps him blend into the darkness a lot better. So if we had that, doing this, what if we, I just don't remember what the other pencil was. It's inking, tinderbox. Could just always do oil paint. It's not the same color. What if it's gonna be more like shadow mice, if you will, or shadow rats, they linger in the darkness. You can't really see them. Just, yeah, I think something along this line is what I'm going for. Very creepy. I like that. I like that a lot. DL hitting us with the sweet spot this morning. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fry. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Couple pennies in a cup, crumbs on the floor, crumbs on the dash, crumbs on my shirt. Give me sprinkles, give me jelly, give me plain. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Sugar on my fingers, glaze on my chin. Cheeto deep fry. Only $1 to hit the sweet spot. Dollar bill, sugar bill, $1. That's not sweet spot.
Good morning, Logical Spark. We're coming to an end for today's segment, as we were just kind of like tossed around ideas of what the rats could look like and everything. See the power of shadows and highlights and color choices and everything. Obviously pose, there's a lot happening here, but it's just a little practice session just to see what we could do with this story, the character as we develop it. I think this is more in the vein of what I was going for. Very creepy. I think the ground would have like, because in the pantry, maybe we'll have like a wood texture and stuff like that. But thank you for helping me find the color palette, giving me some ideas for this story, showing up in all the ways that you do. I'm always grateful. I know I was a little all over the place this morning and I apologize. But there's just so much happening and I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the people that voted in the poll over on Patreon, whether or not we should name our little character, not this one, the main character, Sir Manchego Pepperjack, or should he be Sir Manchego du Pepperjack? Should we be fancy? Grape says, are you going to be playing scary games tonight? I want to be able to use the scary games, Lord. I know. I'm got my eye on you, Grape. When I was creating those things, I'm like, the one person that comes to mind is Great. I'm like, and it's kind of like that idea of like when people say great, but I say great. I just know it. I just know you're going to be the one that's going to abuse the system. I just know it. I feel it in my bones. So as far as gaming tonight, I know Sevi and I were looking for some new games to play. I don't know if she's I don't know if she's available tonight. She has been a very, very busy gal, but I will touch base. Either you'll see me you will see me tonight playing games, whether I'm playing games with Sevi or I'm gonna play games myself. We got to get through some of these things, and it's gonna be great. It's going to be great. No. Thank you for being here today. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. Love the avatar. I will catch you guys on the flippity flip side. Thank you all for being here in all the ways that you do. I have nobody to host you guys to over on the Kick side, but we'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I'll make some more progress. Also, I have something to share with the class. I don't know if it's what I have to work out the details for everything, but I have not a proposition. I guess it's a proposition. So I'll just give you a little sneak peek for those that are here. You guys know Shark Week is upon us. It's coming in July, right? It goes from July into August, I think. And I am doing some artwork for a fun video for Shark Week. By the way, I also have a video coming out this Wednesday. Brand new video, but you can have the opportunity to be in a video if you want to make a specific kind of shark. I'll give more details tomorrow, and then I'll also make a post on it in case anybody misses it. But there's going to be an opportunity for you guys, because you guys have been so creative with your artwork and stuff like that, that I'd love to be able to feature some of that artwork and get you involved in a challenge. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. I want to try to have a couple of videos for Shark Week specifically. So it's going to be sharks, of course, mixed with, because we do challenges around here, something. And I'm going to let you guys know I've already been working on my artwork. So sharks mixed with a certain something, I'll let you know. You merge it together, and I want to see what you guys create. And I'll give you a little bit more of an idea of what I'm looking for. And I think that would be really cool. And then I could feature you in one of the videos and be like, all right, but here's what the subscribers had in mind for Shark Week and the other thing that we're going to mix together. Just make Gatorade. I haven't had Gatorade in forever. I love how Gatorade, like everybody says, they're not known by its flavor, it's known by its colors. The blue one is always the best, or the clear one, right? Shark Week, it is coming. You have to make Skybite. He is a shark from the Robots in Disguise. If I'm gonna make an aquatic, I was gonna say robot, but they're not. Transformer. If I'm gonna make an aquatic transformer, you know who I'm making. Depth Charge, 100%. He is a very, very cool Beast Wars Transformer. And I'm out. Have a good day, the rest of you people.